I had been married for 3 years when I discovered my wife's sexual past wasn't what she had told me before our arranged marriage. Hey everyone, welcome back to today's raw and heartfelt relationship stories, straight from the Indian experience. Whether you're stuck in Mumbai traffic, cooking dinner in your Bangalore flat, or winding down after a long day at work, these stories are perfect company. Get ready for the kind of real talk that makes you think twice about shadi, trust, and family expectations. Story 1 reveals the shock after 3 years of marriage when hidden truths about the past come out. Story 2 follows a wife who starts getting too close to her office colleague while her husband is posted in another city. Story 3 explores the pain of discovering your partner is still emotionally attached to their ex even after an arranged marriage. Story 4 dives into family drama, where a husband's suspicious behavior with a family friend raises red flags. Story 5 captures the slow emotional disconnect in a seemingly perfect arranged setup, leading to dangerous temptation. And Story 6 builds to a heartbreaking confrontation involving in laws and a secret affair that threatens to break the entire family. Story 1. I am married for last 3 years. I found out about my wife's sexual past. We had an arranged marriage 3 years ago. Everything seemed fine. Good family background, she was well educated, and our families clicked instantly. I trusted her completely. We built a nice life together in Mumbai, both working, planning for the future. A few months back, while we were talking late at night about old college days, something slipped. She mentioned a couple of serious relationships before marriage, but the details didn't match what she had shared with me and my family during Rishta talks. Slowly, more came out. There were physical relationships she had never disclosed. I felt completely cheated, not just emotionally, but like my choice to marry her was taken away. In our culture, especially in arranged setups, we rely on honesty about the past. I had been clear that I wanted someone with similar values. She had downplayed everything, saying it was just friends or nothing serious. The anger kept rising. I kept thinking about all the times we discussed our future, our kids, our life together. Had I known the full truth, would I have still said yes? She kept apologizing, saying the past is past, and she chose me fully after marriage. But the trust was shaken badly. I even had a brief emotional slip myself out of frustration, which made everything more complicated. We are still together, trying to work through it with long conversations and some family counseling in private. But every time I look at her, that question comes back. What else don't I know? End story. Here is what I think. This hits hard because in Indian arranged marriages, families and the couple both expect transparency about major past relationships. Hiding physical history feels like deception to many, even if it happened before marriage. At the same time, people deserve second chances if they are genuinely committed now. The husband is right to feel betrayed, but rebuilding will only work if both sides are fully honest going forward and stop keeping score. Would you rather know every detail of your partner's past before marriage, or accept that some things should stay in the past? Let me know below. Story 2. My wife has become too close with her male colleague while I am on deputation. I am currently posted in another city for work for the next 6 months. My wife stays in Pune with our small kid. At first, she would tell me about her new project teammate, a helpful guy in her office. Slowly, the conversations changed. She started mentioning him more often, sharing inside jokes, and talking about late-night project calls. One day, I saw their WhatsApp chat notifications popping up constantly. When I gently asked, she got defensive, saying he is just a good friend and colleague who helps her when she is stressed with work and kid duties alone. But I could sense the emotional shift. She seemed happier talking about him than about our daily calls. The suspicion grew stronger when she started dressing up more for office and became less interested in our video calls. I confronted her directly over phone. She cried and said nothing physical has happened. It's just emotional support she is missing because I am away. But that just emotional part hurt even more. In our marriage, we promised to be each other's support system. I am coming back home sooner than planned now. We have decided to set clear boundaries. She has reduced contact with him, but the insecurity remains. Long distance and Indian marriages with jobs can really test the foundation. End story. Here is what I think. Emotional affairs often start exactly like this: innocent help turning into dependency when one partner feels lonely. Being away for work is common in India, but it doesn't give anyone a free pass to seek closeness outside the marriage. The wife needs to prioritize her husband and child over office friendships, and the husband should also make more effort to stay emotionally connected despite the distance. Boundaries are non negotiable here. Would you set strict no contact rules with a colleague or try to trust your partner while working on the marriage together? Let me know below. Story 3. My husband still talks to his ex-girlfriend after our arranged marriage. Our marriage was arranged by our parents last year. He seemed perfect on paper: stable job in Bangalore, respectful family. After the wedding, I found old messages on his phone. He was still in regular contact with his college ex-girlfriend. At first, he said it was just friendly closure, but the chats were long, emotional, and he hid them from me. When I confronted him, he got angry, saying I am overreacting and that the past is over. Yet he continued replying to her stories and wishes on festivals. It makes me feel like I am the second choice, just fulfilling family expectations. The worst part is how my in-laws brush it off, telling me to adjust and not make issues over small things. But for me, this is not small. I gave up my career adjustments to move with him, and now I feel emotionally alone in this marriage. We are attending couples counseling now. He has reduced contact, but the damage to my trust is deep. I keep wondering if he would have married her if family pressure wasn't there. End story. Here's what I think. In arranged marriages, it's common to have past relationships, but actively staying in touch with an ex after marriage crosses a clear line. The husband's defensiveness and in-laws' adjust attitude make it worse. True commitment means choosing your spouse fully, not keeping emotional backups. The wife is right to demand respect and transparency. Without that, resentment will only grow. Would you demand your spouse cut all contact with their ex or accept occasional friendly chats as harmless? Let me know below. Story 4. I suspect my husband is having an affair with our family friend. We have been married for 8 years with 2 kids. Everything looked normal until last few months. One of our close family friends, a woman whose husband works abroad, started visiting our home more often. At first, it was for casual chai and gossip. Then I noticed my husband taking her calls privately, laughing more with her, and even helping her with small household tasks when I was at work. I found deleted messages and late-night office work excuses that didn't add up. When I asked directly, he denied everything, calling me insecure and paranoid. But my gut feeling is strong. The chemistry between them is visible. This is tearing me apart. We have built a life together in Delhi, shared family responsibilities, and now it feels like it's all crumbling. Our kids adore him. I don't know whether to gather more proof, confront the friend, or speak to elders in the family. Betrayal from someone inside our close circle hurts the most. I am giving him one last chance to come clean while quietly protecting myself and the children. End story. Here is what I think. Suspicion alone isn't proof, but repeated red flags like deleted chats and secrecy cannot be ignored in a marriage. Involving a family friend makes the betrayal even more painful because it affects social circles too. The husband needs to prioritize transparency immediately. For the wife, protecting her mental peace and children's stability should come first, while demanding answers. Would you quietly gather more evidence before confronting, or directly involve family elders for mediation? Let me know below. Story 5. My arranged marriage feels cold, and now I am developing feelings for someone at work. 2 years into our arranged marriage in Mumbai, the spark never really came. We respect each other, manage the house well, but there is no emotional or romantic connection. Conversations are limited to logistics and family matters. Then, at my office, I met someone who actually listens, makes me laugh, and understands my dreams. The attention felt like a breath of fresh air I didn't know I was missing. We started talking more, sharing coffee breaks, and now I find myself thinking about him constantly. Nothing physical has happened yet, but the guilt is already heavy. I know this path is dangerous, especially in our society where divorce still carries heavy stigma. I have started focusing more on improving things at home, planning small dates, communicating my feelings, but the disconnect runs deep and the temptation at work is real. I don't want to become the person who cheats, but I also don't want to live feeling emotionally starved for the rest of my life. This situation is testing every value I grew up with. End story. Here is what I think. Emotional disconnection in arranged marriages is more common than people admit, especially when compatibility isn't deeply checked beyond family fit. However, seeking fulfillment outside instead of addressing the gap at home almost always leads to bigger regret. This person needs honest conversations with their spouse now, maybe even professional help, before crossing a line that can't be undone. Would you try everything possible to fix the marriage first, or walk away if the emotional connection never develops? Let me know below. Story 6. My in-laws are pressuring me to adjust while I suspect my husband of cheating. 6 months after our wedding, my husband started coming home late from team outings and office parties. His behavior changed, less affectionate, always on the phone, and defensive when asked. Then I saw lipstick marks on his collar once and perfume that wasn't mine. When I confronted, he shouted that I am imagining things, and my in-laws sided with him completely. They keep telling me, sub-marriages may, as a hotahai, adjust Carlo. But I can't adjust with betrayal. My own parents are far away, and I feel trapped between saving my marriage and losing my self-respect. The fights have increased. He denies everything, but the distance keeps growing. I am documenting things quietly and considering speaking to a counselor alone first. This isn't the life I imagined when we said yes to the alliance. Family pressure to save face is making everything worse. I am at a crossroads. Fight for the truth or start planning an exit while I still can. End story. Here is what I think. In-law pressure to adjust at the cost of self-respect is unfortunately still very common, but it enables bad behavior. Suspected cheating needs to be addressed directly, not swept under the carpet for family honor. This new wife is right to prioritize her mental health. Marriage requires effort from both sides, not one person silently suffering while the other takes advantage. Would you stay and fight for the marriage despite in-law pressure, or start preparing to move out for your own peace? Let me know below. That was all for today, my friends. Press like if you liked the stories. Original links are in the description. Subscribe if you want to listen to more stories every day. Buy me a coffee from the link in the description if you want to support the channel. It helps with good audio and visuals. Thank you and goodbye. See you tomorrow.